So, welcome everyone for today's session on Metaverse and blockchain. So, we have our speaker here, Pritam, with us. So, Pritam is a full stack JavaScript developer and blockchain engineer. He works with early stage startups and is passionate about designing and building Web3 products. So, really looking forward to this session, Pritam. Over to you.
So before starting with metaverse, it's a basic thing to know like blockchain. Right now, like blockchain is a big thing, but it all started with like the anonymous white paper which written by Satoshi Nakamoto. So to make the decentralized payments and transactions, which gave us like a Bitcoin cryptocurrency and all other cryptocurrency that right now we have. So this is the basic thing that started everything like cryptos and everything like right now we fancy about, right? So blockchain is the main thing like that today we have like metaverse like or NFTs or anything like so it all started with that one white paper. So yeah. So the evolution, like once we had like blockchain, then came the evolution. The evolution part is like, so Vitalik took the idea of blockchain and started like implementing his own version of blockchain. That where like Ethereum started to evolve, and we had DApps. DApps is like writing like applications on top of blockchain for a purpose. Like we are not like individual people writing building our own blockchain. It's like we have blockchain like existing blockchain. We write applications on top of blockchain, which literally changed the whole aspect of blockchain, like or else like the whole evolution of blockchain in the apps. Like we used to write smart contract, which gave us different kind of applications and different kind of technologies on top of like blockchain. So basically, Ethereum started this. Ethereum and Vitalik started this approach. So this initially went to like the trend of like what we see today. Like right now we have metaverse, right? So it all started with like DeFi. Like in 2020, like DeFi started. Like everyone like want to get into like decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is like it's typical financial application, but in the decentralized world, in the blockchain world. So and later it got with like NFTs. Like NFTs, like everyone might have had NFTs or like bought NFT or might have heard about the NFTs, right? So in 2021, it's about NFT. But the tech aspect, like the blockchain developers like us, we know like what's upcoming, like what's next thing that is upcoming in the trend. Like the prediction was like this year it would be like DAO. So it's about decentralized organization. This year it would be DAO in the blockchain space, and next year it would be about P2E, like play to earn games, like in the blockchain space or in like metaverse also, like P2E. The thing is like when Facebook announced the Meta thing, right? They renamed the brand name Facebook to Meta. Then only the whole hype around metaverse got triggered, right? So then everyone started like building the metaverse, like at least getting involved with the metaverse. So the point is like what I'm here to make is like it's not like metaverse on the trend. Like it's the developers like we know, right? So it's like 2020 for DeFi and 2021 for NFT and 2022 for DAO and 2023 for P2E, play to earn games. Like, but the metaverse thing is around predicted around like 2024, 25 to explode. The thing is like Facebook got in and exploded it in 2001 October itself. Or else like it would have taken another like 1 or 2 years for anyone to predict that what metaverse itself. Even still like not big giants like Facebook or like Google absolutely predict what is metaverse. Like they're trying to get first come basis like they competition with like Google or Facebook or like Microsoft. Like so only they have got in and like trying for something to build on metaverse, right? So what is metaverse like? So this is like vague term of like what is metaverse, because there is no proper definition of what is metaverse. If you Google like metaverse, like there is no proper definition. Like this is the thing is metaverse, like or something like that. It's like a one interpretation. Like Facebook might say one thing right now. Like if you ask like Microsoft, they are saying something. and Google says something, and the blockchain industry, like who works with blockchain, or like people who work with like 3D or artificial, like AR or VR, they have like their own interpretation. So there is no proper definition of what is metaverse. Like right now it's like confused state of like thing. We don't have a proper definition of metaverse. Like it's their own interpretation. Each individual has their own interpretation, or each entity has their own interpretation. So, but the thing is, like it's all about immersive technologies. Like it's about virtual worlds. It's about like augmented reality. It's about like any other interaction that we do in a virtual world, or like in blockchain world. That is called metaverse. That's how it's been right now. It's not a proper definition, but it's about the immersive technologies that we use with blockchain, or like we use with like internet or something. That is called metaverse right now. So it may explode into something else, like maybe in 5 years or 10 years, it may explode into something else. But right now, this is the state of like where metaverse is. The thing is like metaverse not a new term. Like it started in 1992. If you have read like Snow Crash book, like it started like in 1992 itself. Like the term metaverse, it started there itself. Like in that book, it has written like it's kind of an imaginary world, like where people will do stuff and do interactions with other people or stuff. So it's not a new thing, but it's like existed, but it took some time to actually to get a trend, right? So how we started using like virtual technologies right now, like that's how like it was there, but the technology also it was there, but advancement technologies led to metaverse what today is. So, and also like it's like metaverse is a term itself, like it's kind of like virtual, like it's beyond universe. Yeah. So here, like the advancement of why we talk about metaverse itself, like the technology advancement. Without technology advancement, we don't have like metaverse, right? So because like the virtual reality existed from 1980, the augmented reality existed from 1990, or the mixture of virtual and augmented reality, which we call extended reality, existed like quite few years, like okay. But the thing is like advancement in each field has gave us the metaverse what we have today. So maybe like virtual reality existed, but it started with like Google starting with Google or Microsoft starting with like HoloLens or doing some stuff with HoloLens, and in 2014 like Facebook coming up with Oculus Rift or something. So it started the virtual reality like trend to do something virtual reality, and augmented reality trend started around like Google announcing like the Google Lens, right, in like 2012 or something. So augmented reality started then, like, and like Microsoft picked it up, and they started creating the HoloLens and experimenting with augmented reality and stuff. So and finally, like we have extended reality, which is a mixture of like this both things, like virtual reality and augmented reality. So virtual reality, in the sense, it's about virtual world. We create a world in 3D or something, and we get into that world and we play games, like we interact with people. It's virtual reality. Like here augmented reality is like about like in the present, like present state of things. Like you have a mobile and you can like interact with like virtual segments, but also you can interact with real world. Like it's a mixture of present and virtual. That is called augmented reality. So extended reality is like mixture of both things. Like you have like virtual reality like VR headset, and you have like augmented reality stuff, like, and mixed both together. So and also like it's not just like without advancement of technology, we don't have like metaverse right now today. So and also like we had a proper like segment of last 10 years to build proper softwares for this augmented reality or virtual reality stuff, like to build a to build a metaverse today, right? So we had like software like maybe like Unity or like Blender. Like we had many softwares like that coming up to build the world, like we have the virtual world. So and also like advanced graphics and enhancement both in like hardware side. Like we had Oculus Rift, HoloLens, and graphics also like kind of like push together the metaverse we have today. So before blockchain, like right now we have blockchain, so we are like getting the metaverse into blockchain. Like without like blockchain there is no metaverse, right now. That is how like everything is being built. The thing is like metaverse existed like far before than blockchain. Like even even before, like in last 10 years, like metaverse existed before. If you have heard of IMVU, or like if you heard of like Second Life, these games, like this virtual world existed like before blockchain, or like before that, before like we had cryptos or something. So Second Life existed for more than 10 years. Like IMU existed for more than like 10 years. Like these people started building virtual worlds, but it doesn't like exist like what we have today. Like we have like Decentraland and some other games, right? So right now, like we have like Decentraland, Sandbox, and Axie Infinity. These all like metaverse worlds that we exist today, and people buy stuff, NFTs and lands from Decentraland, Sandbox, and play games in Axie Infinity, or like play games with metaverse or something. So the thing is like. Metaverse existed before, but the thing is like right now, like we have a metaverse which is a total like new version of like maybe we can call it a 2.0 of metaverse. Like metaverse existed before blockchain itself. Like there are many applications that use till today like had metaverse kind of features, like the virtual world, virtual interaction, virtual gaming, and virtual social life. They had it. So right now, like we have like metaverse, like but with blockchain. So that's how like we had like Decentraland, Sandbox, and Axie Infinity. So one of the like reason like why the metaverse is like hyped up today, or like why Facebook took metaverse today, is because of COVID. So when COVID like happened, like we understood like being virtual made more sense than being in real life, right? So this thought like gave us the metaverse right now. So being virtual made more sense because we don't want to interact with people. We want to communicate with people, but we don't want to interact with people. And also we had a technology aspect. Like what if COVID-19 happened like 10 or 20 years before? We might have lacked the technology that we have, right? So the online, like the Zoom calls or like Google Meet we had, right? So COVID-19 like pushed the way for metaverse. Like that's how it. Right now we have like we have the hype around metaverse, or like people build their own metaverse. That's how like people do it right now. So why the need for blockchain? The thing is like metaverse existed before, but uh, right now like the metaverse, like it's new, right? Like it's with blockchain. Without blockchain there is no metaverse right now. If you're saying like you are going to build blockchain just about the 3D stuffs and AR VR, so it's not metaverse today. Right now, like without blockchain, like without like cryptos, there is no metaverse. Like why is the need for like blockchain in the metaverse world? Because blockchain like metaverse existed before also. Like why is the need for blockchain is more important today than why it's before? Like why it's not before? Like because in metaverse, in blockchain, like we have like security, right? So if you are in a decentral space, like decentral network, your storage, data, and processing all can be secured. That's one aspect. So because your data is secure, like you don't depend on centralized or centralized storage or centralized entity to manage your storage or manage your data. So if it's in blockchain, it's kind of secure, right? So that's one of the aspect. And also like so the trust fact is the second aspect. Like the fact is that we have confidential information of each individual, so we don't want to share that information, like whether it be our any kind of information, like for social media information or any kind of, we don't want to share that information to third party, like Google or Facebook. But the thing is like if it's in the blockchain, like we can trust it. Like if it's in the blockchain, like we know like who have the access to the information, like what happened to the information. Like we can trust the blockchain blindly, right now. Like that's how we have the trust in the blockchain. So third aspect is like the need for blockchain in metaverse is like the ecosystem. Like you have different entities, like different nodes which connected together. This makes the decentralized network, right? So this is like more important because each entity has each different node. Like whether you connect from like mobile, or whether you connect from web, or whether you connect from like whatever devices you are, like Oculus Rift or HoloLens or whatever. If you are connected to like decentralized environment, like it will be more secure, it will be more trustable, it will be more like it's not like you are connected to some centralized network or something. It will be more like decentralized thing, right? The fourth aspect is some smart contract. So let's say like if I create a like metaverse application like in the blockchain, so it's like I don't have to create it from scratch. I don't have to create a blockchain for that one. So I can like write a smart contract. I can write whatever functionality I need. I can create a token. I can make a logic whatever I need. Like I can do that one and deploy a smart contract which have the ability to make create a metaverse. Like I might have like 3D models. I might have VR. I might have AR, like whatever it may be. But the thing is like uh, smart contracts enable us to create the blockchain aspect. So that's one of the aspect like we have like in metaverse for blockchain. So the fourth thing is interoperability. What is interoperability? Like communicating with different network. Like let's say like we have Ethereum. Like I build a like metaverse application in Ethereum. So I do have another application like built on like Solana or something like another blockchain. So it can be interacted. So it's not like different environment we have. It can be interacted. Even though it's difficult, it can be interacted. So it's like every ecosystem, every metaverse ecosystem that's being created can interact in the blockchain. So that's interoperability. So and also like finally like we have like why the need for blockchain is we have like cryptocurrencies that is quite strong, like can replace a traditional currency also right now. That is how like we are using cryptocurrencies, right? So we can have create an ecosystem. We can create an economy inside the metaverse. Like let's say if you living like if you're purchasing something in the metaverse, like you can use cryptocurrency. You don't have to depend on the fiat currency. You don't have to depend on anything. You just can use cryptocurrencies. Like these are the aspect like it's not before. Like the metaverse was there before, but this aspect like gave like extra advantage to the metaverse to be created or to be explored in right time. So or else like it would have been difficult for us to explore the metaverse world right now. So what enables like in blockchain like in metaverse like what enables it? So if we have like blockchain in metaverse, like we can enable like these are some of few examples that exist today. Like we can enable in-game assets. So what that in-game assets mean? Like you can buy like let's say you are playing some game in metaverse, like a shooting game in metaverse world. So it's a 3D space, like you are playing with Oculus Rift or something. So or else like if you're playing with the web, so you can buy in-game assets. You can buy assets inside the game, and you can like resell the assets or can use the assets to play game. So this is one of the like main features. And also like you can use virtual currencies. Like you might have like 2 3 virtual currencies. You might have like another virtual currency that you played in another game. You can use it here like in another game. So that's how like you can use virtual currencies. You can buy NFTs like how we used to buy NFTs in like in 2 years. So and also like there is a self identification identity authentication. Like you can identify yourself or like you can be anonymous and play the game. And also you can buy like real estate and lands to play the game. Let's say you want to create a, like play a game in a different planet. Like there is a game in Axie Infinity and you have like different planet to buy and you can play the game, and you have a team of players to play. You can do that one. So another thing is like categories to cater in metaverse. Like uh, what are the things like what are different categories like we can build in metaverse? So first is like social connection in the sense like what Facebook tries to do. So here they try to engage with people. Like let's say Facebook is why Facebook is doing like metaverse. Why they are getting into metaverse? They believe that like people will connect with another people or engage with people through virtual world, through metaverse. That's why they have renamed everything. Their vision is like in 5 to 10 years, like people will engage with another people in virtual worlds, like how we engage with another people with WhatsApp or online chat, right? So 20 years back, it's not that, right? So we can't engage with another people in online, right? So right now we engage with another people with chat or like WhatsApp or like any other social media, right? So the same thing like how like Facebook thinks is like they think like in 5 or 10 years, like people engage with another people or people connect with another people through this metaverse world, through this virtual worlds. That's one of the main category they are concentrating on. but there are other categories here I have mentioned, right? So that also like important for the metaverse world to be like what it's going to be like in future. The next thing is like we have entertainment. So in entertainment, like there are people who attending like virtual concerts already. If you use this, like some of the pop singers like who used to run virtual concerts like in last year 2021, they used to create virtual concerts. Here like they sold the ticket for like virtual concerts as a NFT, and they had like their virtual concert in like metaverse world. So that's how it's turning around. So people like pop singers, like celebrities create virtual concerts and sell tickets, and people also like get into like that metaverse world in like other characters, in 3D characters or something. So the next thing is like gaming, like how like this works, how gaming works in metaverse. Like we might play some game in metaverse, like some entity might create a game, like Infinity is creating a game in metaverse. So they are exploring metaverse, like they creating games, and they have P2E economy, like which is play to earn. If I can play a game and earn something using uh, the metaverse game, then it's beneficial for me, also for the platform. So there are like some countries depend, some countries economies depend on this P2 game already. So in blockchain, like people playing P2E games and uh, earning as a daily wage for them to live. So P2 is turning around to be a big thing. So that already like came into metaverse. Like if you have a game in metaverse, like you can play and earn. Like Action Infinity is already like doing that one. So the next thing is like fitness. Like if you have an instructor teaching you in the virtual world, you don't have to like go to like some place, right? So you can learn whatever you want. Like you can do your fitness things which the virtual instructor who you can connect with in the metaverse world. So the next thing is like work category. So work is like, let's say like you are an architecture and you want to build something. uh, so you can build a virtual world, right? You can design your like motorcycle or something in a virtual world. So this will be like quite interesting, and also like it makes easy for you to build things. Like if you're creating like architecting something, then you can create in the virtual metaverse world, and there will be tools that provided by Facebook or something like to create this one, or like there'll be third parties like who create the tools. And also like finally is education category. Let's say like you have a kid and she or he wants to learn something. It's easy for them to learn. Like let's say you have a human body. It's easy for them to learn about the human body in a metaverse, like in an interactive way. They can like interact with the human body and learn things. So that's how like metaverse turning to be. Like it's not just about like what Facebook is like social connections and connecting with people and engaging in entertainment. It's about like more than that. It's about work, it's about entertainment, it's about education, it's about fitness, and it's about gaming also. So how to build something, like how to build a metaverse, like what is the, so we are like, I would say like we are quite in the quite early stages, like of even like blockchain, crypto, or whatever. Like even the metaverse, we are quite early stage. Let's say like we have Chrome browser and we have like Mozilla Firefox or something like. So let's say like we had like in 1998 or something, we had Netscape. Nobody remembers Netscape today. So but we had Netscape, which is a quite like first browser for the internet, like Netscape. Then only came the Internet Explorer or something like, which we used for another 10 years or something before Chrome came in. So we are in the early stages of like this blockchain ecosystem exploding to something else. And also like there are different technologies that's coming up. So with metaverse or something. So we are in the early stages of blockchain, we are in the early stages of metaverse, we are in the early stages of crypto or something. So we are in the Netscape era. There are more to be explored, there are more to be like built, there are more tools to be uh, built for this ecosystem. And also like it's the same thing for metaverse also. So there are many things to be explored, there are many problems to be resolved. So it's a good time right now to build for anyone, even to learn to build new things, like because we are quite early, like it's just a Netscape era we are living in for blockchain. So the basic thing is how you build like a metaverse, like how to get involved in building a metaverse. Like first it's to choose the platform. Let's say like you want to create a game, that a metaverse game, choose the environment. Like because Facebook provide tools to build metaverse worlds, and also Sandbox and Decentraland give tools to build a metaverse world where you can create your own environment and you can do whatever you want. So or else like you can also create your own environment from scratch. Let's say you are a 3D artist and you want to build your own environment, you can do that one. Like it's not like you only dependent on Facebook or Sandbox or Decentraland to build your world, like metaverse world or metaverse game or metaverse economy or anything. So the next thing would be like design the space. Like designing the space means, so metaverse is all about like immersive technologies, right? Immersive technology in the sense it's more about 3D. So it's more about 3D. It's more about interactions. It's more about like virtual things. So you have to create something like 3D. Like you have to create something virtual. You have to create something immersive. So it's more dependent on 3D tools than like what we do on 2D or what we do on web. It's more about 3D. So you have to learn like Unity. You have to learn like Blender. You have to learn any 3D tools to build the world. If you're creating a small game, also there are like online models that are available, which you can use for a basic purpose to create a metaverse world. But the thing is like if you want to create a full-fledged ecosystem on the metaverse, like you are dependent on some kind of tools, or you are dependent on some kind of platforms like Sandbox or Decentraland. So it's better like if you have a knowledge of like Unity or Blender, like it will be useful to create your own models. Like you can create your own characters, you can create your own environment, you can create your own mode of transport, or you can create your own games which you can use it as a model to create the ecosystem, right? So and also like it's not like you just need what you say like 3D, you just have to learn 3D. No, you can also create with voxel. So voxel in the sense like it's a pixel art, like you have like pixel, right? You have pixel art, but what if the pixel art is in 3D? That is called voxel. So you can create a voxel world. So and also like there are many tools like Magica voxel or something which makes easy, like if you have an iPad, like you can create a voxel. So you can create a voxel world, and you can use online tools also create voxel. Like it's not 3D, but it's a downgraded version of 3D. You have like pixel in voxel. So you can create the 3D environment, the metaverse environment in voxel, and you can create the world, like the metaverse world. So next, building interactions, like the interaction in the sense like we are interacting with a browser with mouse or trackpad or whatever we call it. So in here, in metaverse, like we are interacting with a virtual space, right? It's about virtual, it's about space, right? So it's difficult for us to create anything like interactions. So if you are creating a metaverse in web, it's easy for us to interact. But if you're creating a metaverse world for Oculus Rift or like HoloLens or for mobile devices, so you need to create interactions. It's not easy for anyone to create interactions for that one. So there are APIs available, there are SDKs available, there are like many tools that open source tools that are available to create this world, like to create the interactions. Like let's say you have to create a glove, you have to create some interactions for smart glasses, you have to create something for like VR or headsets. There are like APIs and SDKs which provided by like Facebook or Sandbox or any other entities, like which makes our world to interact. Like you can move around this world, you can like have sensors in the headsets or something like that. So next thing is interoperability. Like you have a world and someone builds another world. So you have a game or someone builds another game like in the metaverse. Like how you people going to interact? Like how you can buy there and you can exchange here. So it's about blockchain. Choosing the blockchain also depends. Like there are like blockchain that's coming for like metaverse specific blockchain for the purpose to connect it. So when that we have that option, like we can create our metaverse world in those blockchains. Let's say like we have Filecoin blockchain, which is used for storage. There are metaverse blockchain that's being created. So for the purpose of building metaverse world, so we can use that blockchains to create our environment, like create our ecosystem, and we can create whatever you want. So it's about like building, not about like having to look into something. Like if you start building, like you would learn like step by step on how you can build easily. So right now, like what I'm doing is like I'm building an application called Scribble. It's a metaverse dating application. So what we do is like uh, it makes we are building on voxel, like to be clear, like so based on these 4 points, like we are building, like we are choosing a platform, like we are not choosing on like Facebook, like what we are building the metaverse dating application Scribble. It's not about like Facebook or Sandbox or Decentraland. We are building everything from scratch, the models, the buildings, the interactive features, like everything we are building it from scratch. So, and also like we are not using 3D because it's difficult to scale 3D. So we are not going to scale it for like what Oculus Rift or HoloLens or something. First, we are initially building our like Scribble application for web. Once we have a proper models and once we interact with the web, we are then upgrade it to like HoloLens, or we might upgrade to Oculus or something. So this application is like you can interact with, you can walk around, you can walk around people, you can engage with people. So that kind of application we are building. It's a dating application called Scribble. So we are using like building like voxel models using Magica Voxel. It's one of the open source tool that makes us to create voxel art. So the second thing is about like building interactions or converting this to like I said no, like we are not building for like 3D. We are just building for the web. So this metaverse world. So here like we have conversion, like when you create something in 3D, like it will be object file. So it will be an object file. You have to convert the object file to something else. Like here, like for us, like when we create a model, we end up creating an object model in Magica Voxel, and we convert that to, we import that to Blender, and we convert that to GLB file, and we convert the GLB file to JSX file, which is JavaScript file or React.js. We use React.js to render library. So we convert it to JSX file and we render it. That's how like it's not an easy process, but it's kind of like each one has their own process. Like let's say if you're building with Unity, you're building a 3D model with Unity, then you have another approach of rendering that to web, or you have another approach of rendering that to Oculus Rift, or you have another approach of rendering the 3D models to HoloLens or something. So each 3D tools provide different ways of approach to render the models. So and also like I said about interoperability, right? It's about choosing the blockchain on what blockchain. So we are building this Scribble application for as a multi-chain support. What is multi-chain support in the sense is like it's not dependent on single chain. It's not dependent on single blockchain like Ethereum, like Solana or Binance blockchain. It's about giving like multi-chain support. Like it will be like deployed on multiple blockchains. So you can like choose whatever blockchain you want and interact with. The future of like metaverse, like what is, it's quite unclear like where this will end up, this metaverse thing, because like it's not like it will take like more time for even what the vision of Facebook says. Like Facebook says like it will be like realistic or something like that, but it takes like many tools, like many hardwares, like many devices to, or else to scale what they're speaking. Like it will take another like some years to scale what they're speaking, like to make something to actual life or something related to actual life. Like you can have like, the virtual world, the metaverse world, and also like real world. You can interact with both things, or you can have the augmented reality stuff. So it will take some time. It's unclear where this metaverse thing will end up, but it's, I would say like it all going in the right direction. There are like economies that being created on play to earn with metaverse. So there are also like many platforms like blockchain platforms that's being created specifically for metaverse. So where you can have a working application, you can build a AR VR application, a metaverse applications on top of, like let's say you have an Android ecosystem, Android OS, you can create applications on top of that, right? There are like blockchains that being created for this whole purpose of metaverse. So you on like you kind of not dependent on like like centralized parties like Facebook or something. You can build on like those open source blockchains which are being created for metaverse purpose, and you can build your metaverse world or something on top of that one. So also there is huge competition between these people like this Facebook, Google or Microsoft to like write the metaverse work. If it's all going to happen, like they want to be the first one to like enable, like how Facebook came with social media, right? Social networking, right? So they are the first one. Like even though we had like Orkut or Netscape, Orkut before, but they are the first one to give many features or to make it like wide or make scale to like too many people like around the world. Like people are exploring like Facebook or Google or like Microsoft, exploring this metaverse to like scale to the world, like many people and get an opportunity to be there, like part of it. So that's it. But I would like to show like what we are building. So this is an online like tool like where you can have your 3D models seen like we are. I said no, we are building some metaverse dating application. So this is one of the models. This is an Ambrister we have created. This is a 3D. This is voxel like pixel art in 3D. This is voxel. This is Ambrister which is in India, the Golden Temple. So we are creating something like this. So this is a render of that model. So you can interact with this one. So you can interact with this one. This is how like metaverse. We are rendering it in like web, but you can easily port this to Oculus Rift. You can easily port to like another V or another AR headsets, or you can easily port this to like any other mobile or something like that. Right now, like we are rendering this thing in web. This is all like people are like or to say like people building metaverse. Yeah, that's it. Like if you have like any queries, you can ping on
Yeah,
chat.
thank you so much, Pritam. So any questions from any of the participants? If you have any questions, feel free to add it in the Q&A. And Pritam, thank you so much. I think it was a wonderful session. I really enjoyed the demo. So the code, is it open source?
No, not at like we are planning to launch the what do you say like, right now we are building a metaverse dating application which is like
Mhm.
interactive. So that's what showed the Ambrister, right? You can go and
Yeah, yeah.
interact inside the Ambrister. You can log in. So we are planning to launch this platform around like the first prototype part to say will be around end of May. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that with us. So I think there are no questions right now, but if you have any questions, okay, Kiki is saying this just completely defeats my imagination. Yeah, of course, I think it's the metaverse is beyond our imagination. There are like multiple things that we can do. And I hope that all of you who have attended this webinar would try to build something new. And yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, we have something in the Q&A. Uh, Okay, so Noella has asked this question. I only recently started focusing on Ethereum platforms application. So how does one integrate metaverse with blockchain? So Peter, would you
So
like to answer that?
So it's quite simple. Like you start building with blockchains. That is the best thing because blockchain becomes a foundation layer for metaverse right now. It's not like it's 10 years back. We don't have like blockchain layer for metaverse. Like even though metaverse existed in Second Life or something like many other applications, right now like the base layer for metaverse is blockchain because of the trust, because of the cryptos, because of the decentralization. Right now like everything is dependent on blockchain. It's better to learn blockchains, like it better to like create applications on top of blockchain. Once you have like base understanding of how to create application, like let's say you create a 2D application in like Ethereum, like Ethereum smart contracts or Polygon or like BAC, anything, like you can use that knowledge to create a metaverse. Metaverse is nothing like you creating a virtual world in 3D or something. Then you can concentrate once you have the understanding about creating an application in any kind of blockchain. Then you can venture into like metaverse. Then you can like create a like 3D models, or else there are 3D models that are available online. You can download the 3D models, and you can use the 3D models, and you can use the connections to interact with, or you can use the APIs that is provided by Facebook to interact with the blockchain. It's about like creating a virtual world and interacting with the blockchain. If you like going to like merge it together, it's kind of a metaverse application. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Pritam. So, Noella, it's good that you have like started on the Ethereum platform. So, as Pritam said, you can explore the other how to create the 3D models as well. That would be useful for you. Okay, awesome. So we have another question from Arundhati. She's saying that I'm learning Solidity now. Would like to know which programming language will be used while creating a multi-chain.
So multi-chain is nothing like, let's say you are when you're creating an application on top of blockchain, you are deciding on what kind of blockchain you need to use, right? Let's say you are creating a smart contract like DApps, uh, writing a smart contract and creating a DApp. Like let's say you're writing a metaverse application itself, creating a metaverse application itself. You're deciding on the blockchain. When you decide on the blockchain, it's clear like how you are going to write the smart contract. If you are building on top of like Ethereum, you will be using Solidity to write the smart contract, right? So if you are doing on Polygon, or if you're doing on like BSC, like Binance Smart Chain, it's typically like you are writing everything in Solidity, because this blockchain supports Solidity. So what multi-chain in the sense is you are giving support for multiple blockchains. Let's say you are going to an NFT marketplace like Rarible Foundation or OpenSea. There will be an option to connect the wallet in different blockchains. So you can use Solana to connect the marketplace. You can use Ethereum to connect the marketplace. You can use Polygon to connect the. It's like it's multi-chain. There is multiple chain support. You can choose whatever blockchain you want to create an NFT or to buy an NFT. That's what I'm referring to as a multi-chain. So what I'm saying is like I'm creating this application on which gives supports for multiple chain. So I'm planning to give support for Polygon, Ethereum, and Solana. So when I say Solana, like Solana is different. Like when I will be writing smart contracts uh, for Solana in Rust language, not Solidity. So that is the difference.
Yeah, thanks for answering that, Pritam. We have one more question from Irina. When we develop in Metaverse, should we pay something to Facebook? Is there any free testing environment available?
So in-game assets like uh, there is no point of using fiat currencies. It depends on what kind of game. Like let's say you are playing a game in Axie Infinity, they won't be having a fiat currency interface or something to pay. Like maybe you can buy their cryptos, like buy their Axie Infinity crypto using fiat currency. But once you are inside the game, once you are in the metaverse world, there is in-game assets. Like you can use those like cryptos, like what they provide, like Axie Infinity, what they provide. Let's say even if I create a PTV game inside the Scribble metaverse environment, I won't be giving like fiat enabled things to buy the in-game assets. I'll be having my own Scribble token, right? You'll be using that token only to buy the in-game assets. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Pritam. I guess that was the answer for Charu on her question on the gaming applications. So, Pritam, we have one more question, which is that when we develop in Metaverse, should we pay something to Facebook? Is there any free testing environment?
No, no, no. Right now, like that's what I said. Like while creating like metaverse like gaming application or metaverse any kind of application, you are choosing a platform. You are choosing an ecosystem. What Facebook does is they provide an easy way to create a metaverse world. That's what they are planning to do. So let's say like I have to create a dating application. So it will be easy for me in 1 or 2 years to create with Facebook, because they will be providing every kind of tool to create the virtual worlds. But right now, like we are building our own virtual world from scratch. We are building like so it depends on what kind of tool you are use. Like if you want to build it from scratch, you can use it. Like testing environment in the sense like there are many tools where you can test your thing. Like for the 3D aspect as well, there are separate tools, and for blockchain also there are separate. But this is the integration of two things, like the virtual world and the blockchain. So there is nothing like because of the term Facebook and Meta, like it's not a Facebook owning the metaverse. It's you can independently create your own metaverse world. That's the point.
Okay, thank you, Pritam. I guess that were the only questions. So if any of the attendees have any questions, feel free to join our Slack channel and ask there. So I guess if there are no more questions, then we can end today's session. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you, Pritam, for this wonderful session. I think it was definitely enlightening for a lot of us.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.